welcome to another episode of the Devil's Due movie review. Today we're going to be discussing the 2022 film Men by Alex Garland, making him a little too formal. I'm a big fan of Alex Garland's work. I absolutely love Ex Machina. I think that is an amazing movie. I really liked Annihilation, so as far as I'm concerned, he's batting 1,000 so far. And then my brother Christopher here recommended that we cover Men. Now, it qualifies as a Devil's Due movie review because it grossed worldwide in the box office about $11 million. There is no way it made money. Just flat out. On top of that, it's a pretty weird, polarizing movie. Critics liked it, but audiences pretty divided in parts. So, with that out of the way, let's start discussing the film. Why do you recommend it as a underappreciated film? Like, what were the positives that made you pick it?
Well, it's it's a newer movie. It's an original movie. It came out in 2022, and it's not like a Marvel movie or anything like that. And when it came out, it just came in and out of theaters and left with a whimper. So I was like, this is a really weird movie, and it's worth another chance for people to see.
Okay.
And also like Alex Garland too. He's awesome.
So, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not get the movie. There were a lot of themes that I saw repeated throughout the film, and I honestly just did not understand their significance.
Yeah.
And when the movie ended, I still wasn't exactly sure what that meant.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pagan imagery in the film. Like, they have carvings of the Green Man, and in pagan lore, that's a symbol of rebirth and revitalization. And there were some pretty explicit birth scenes in the movie.
Should we do another spoilers?
Yeah. And I just wasn't sure how it all connected to the main character and her plight. It had some creepy visuals and atmosphere, but I just didn't get the story.
Yeah. I think it's meant to be ambiguous, obviously, but it's just one of those movies. I don't know. I think he made it for the sake of being weird. Like, after Ex Machina was like Academy Award nominated and everything, and then Annihilation was awesome, but it didn't really get the thing. I think he's like, well, I'm just going to make an art house kind of movie. A woman alone in a house, and all the men around her are the same dude. And, I mean, it's a low-budget idea, just done at like a high-budget level, an A-budget level.
Well, when I saw it, I didn't think that's a low-budget idea. I thought that's an artistic statement.
Yeah.
That I'm just not getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but that one guy's performance as all the different men was impressive.
Yeah, he's really good in the movie. He plays like I think 7 different people altogether. Some of them don't even have lines of dialogue. They're just on screen for like, a minute or two. But yeah, he's all over the place. Especially the Green Man. It's pretty crazy. A lot of full frontal male nudity in this movie.
And the main actress, I'm blanking on her name, but
Jessie Buckley.
Yeah. I looked at her IMDb because she looked familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. And she had been in several other things that I had seen and enjoyed, so there's no fault in the casting at all. Like, it was solid.
What, did you not like it? Because you said no fault in the casting. Right?
Well, just I just didn't get the story, and that kind of left me wanting more. Because like I wanted to understand, like, okay, spoilers. The main character's husband dies, and they heavily, heavily imply that he committed suicide. And I mean,
I don't know. I wouldn't say heavily, heavily implied. They did imply it greatly, but I wouldn't say it was like they did enough to make it think like maybe he did die accidentally, but he does have a line in the movie that says, you know, if you do this, I'll kill myself, and then he dies after it. But I don't know. The look on his face when he's falling doesn't really read like.
well, the look on his face as he's falling could have been, oh no, I made a terrible mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, because he slipped and fell.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's meant to be ambiguous. I think it does kind of lean towards him committing suicide, but it's still, that's the thing with this movie. Even things that that should have been like hit home is still ambiguous. So even the things that you need to like piece the plot together is ambiguous. So everything's left up to interpretation, that you can just go down like a million different rabbit holes.
Yeah, so there's the main character's story and wrestling with grief and possibly guilt. And then there's the Green Man and all the people in the village having the same face.
Yeah.
And I just didn't get how those things intersected, other than random chance of her renting the wrong country house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also the final form of the Green Man, which is her husband, or her ex.
Yeah.
Husband. Is it ex? Were they married? Yeah, they were, because they were talking about divorce.
Yeah.
The ex-husband. So what it could be is like different aspects of all men. Each person is like a different aspect of like man in general, and it's just like a horror movie that touches on that idea. And maybe that her ex became, or was like the embodiment of the Green Man, and that's why he shows up last, and it's like, you know, why I did this to you or whatever. And she's like, I don't care. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of unanswered questions, and that just, and it wasn't like a cool unanswered question like the Lady and the Tiger story, where, you know,
What's that one?
It's a famous short story with an ambiguous ending. Like, the character was either given like a woman as a prize to marry, or he was eaten alive by a tiger, and it leaves you hanging as to what his fate was.
Oh, okay.
And
a woman, obviously.
But that's a famous early literary example of just the ambiguous ending where you're not actually sure the character's fate.
Mm.
And that kind of hooks you, and it leaves you talking about it after the fact. And even though you don't get a resolution, it's still like a very satisfying, clever ending to a lot of people. And I don't know, I didn't feel that way about Men, even though the visuals and the gore were pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, what do you think it's about? Like, what do you think the point of the story is?
Well, given the main character's situation, I thought maybe it was going to be, the whole thing was going to be a metaphor for grief, which is how I interpreted the Babadook.
Yeah.
And I really liked the Babadook, and I thought that's what I was getting into, given the setup. And then I just didn't see too much evidence of it going that way.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Green Man morphs into her ex-husband at the very end, that kind of hinted towards that. But at that point, it was a little like there just wasn't enough evidence of that to really convince me. So I don't know what it's about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you even got the whole idea of the everything's about the men all around her, and then at the end they give birth to each other, which is, you know, a womanly thing to do. They even grow female organs.
There's also it's so fantastical when the men are all like spawning each other that I kind of thought, like, is this going to be revealed to be a dream sequence or a delusion or something like that? But when her friend shows up to the house,
Yeah.
there's evidence of everything that
Yeah.
happened strewn around. So it's like, no, that apparently happened in our physical reality,
Yeah.
which left me even more confused. So
Yeah. But what do you think it's about then? You said
I don't know.
you don't know. I think it's just like, what is it, an allegory for man, like the different types of men that there are in the world, and this like tiny town just kind of encapsulates the world.
Yeah, but they all end up being the same because they're all played by the same.
Yeah, but
actor.
it's all the same. It's different parts of one being, the Green
Okay.
Man. Different parts of the communities where you meet these people.
Okay, well, yeah, that could be it.
That's kind of what I got from it when I saw it. But I didn't watch it in preparation for this video, so that's my fault.
No, it was.
I mean, I didn't rewatch it in preparation.
But like I said, the gore was strong, the visuals were strong, the acting was strong.
Yeah.
I just wish there was a more coherent story behind all of that. So, you know, I still like Alex Garland. It didn't like. So if he comes out with anything else, I'm going to be ready to jump right in. But
Yeah.
this just caught me off guard. It wasn't what I was expecting at all.
Okay.
All right, any final words?
Now, watch it. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's pretty artsy. Like I said, not a lot to complain about outside of the story for me. So give it a chance. You know, if you don't like it, you've got an interesting finale to talk about because
Yeah.
it got really off the rails at the end. But there's a lot to like there, for sure. So, all right, until next time.
Peace!